So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, most fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I am so thrilled that you're here, and I hope that these readings resonate with you. If you do not resonate with today's reading, please go check out the playlist, and you will be most likely called to the title description of a specific video or reading. And that will most likely be a reading that is calling to you. All my readings are timeless. In fact, I've had a lot of people commenting on older videos of mine that are coming into their awareness energetically. So remember that our consciousness is only able to tap into a certain level of understanding up until a certain point where we expand and grow. And so revisiting old readings might have different messages. You know, even if you're drawn to the same pile, it could certainly be applied in different ways. So this is why all my readings are done in the timeless fashion. And for those of you guys who are here continuously supporting this channel, I am so grateful. I'm so blessed to be here, and I can't wait to get into today's reading. These are the decks I'll be using for today. If you're interested in the cards in these decks, I do have a playlist, which I'll link right here. And this will give you an opportunity to energetically charge the cards, regardless of when you come to this reading, okay? You can charge those cards energetically, and this way the energy can connect better to future readings. So this reading is going to be a pick a card reading, and we'll pull from the Book of Doors. And what we're looking at is what is behind the door, or a decision that you are about to make, or one that maybe you have not yet made and passed up on. What would have been behind this door. Okay, so you can use it as something you're still contemplating, considering, or something that you did not walk through or decide to do, and what that would have looked like. So apply it to your own situation, circumstance, however you see fit, but do not force messages to fit. Do not take messages that aren't for you, and the overall energy in that pile that you select should be matching the energy frequency in which you're in, or your situation or circumstance will come through energetically through that reading. So this could be people around you. Your situation can pull through as an energy, or your own energy can pull through based on your own thoughts, feelings, etc. Okay, so tarot is just reflecting back to you, a mirror of your state of consciousness. And so if you are feeling like you keep getting repeat messages, nothing's really shifting, things are staying the same, this could mean you're in an unconscious loop and you are projecting your consciousness. Okay, so you're getting similar type messages. This is why it's important to develop the intuition, so that we can rise above any subconscious sort of messaging that's going on that's keeping you stuck in unconscious action and reflection. Okay, it's going to keep just telling back to you something that's you're replaying to yourself. So it has nothing to do with the tarot reader per se, but your energy is reflecting back to you in a certain way. Okay, but we do use tarot if we're conscious, so that we can make decisions, jump timelines, get in front of certain things. And so this reading is all about the decision that you're about to make, or one that you haven't made. Okay, and you're wanting to know what would be behind that door. What is behind that door? Okay, so hopefully we can get the flavor of what you're dealing with throughout that pile, rather than just sort of an outcome. Okay, but I will push to see what is the outcome of that, choosing that door or making that decision. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you guys, beautiful people. And like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, so that this video can reach whoever it needs to reach. All right, and if you are not subscribed to this channel and you do resonate with this reading, you might consider subscribing, so that you are connected to when I do post new videos. All right, so beautiful people, I will put the timestamps below, and we will start with the card selection, and then I will take you guys into your reading. I'll see you guys soon. All right, let's get into the pile selection. So for today's reading, we're going to pull 4 options. Okay, so 4 options from this deck, and whichever one feels right for you. First instinct will most likely be your message, okay? But it's fine to be drawn to multiple piles. In fact, we can have mirroring going on, meaning you and anyone regarding your situation, circumstance. Situation will pull through as an energy. Okay, so we could be getting your energy of people around you, however it pulls through, okay? But do not force it to fit. So let's see, for option 1, Spirit, in regards to the door that they're considering opening or the door that they did not open, what is behind that door, that decision? What is behind that door for pile 1? For pile 2, what is behind that door for the collective? And option number 3, what is behind that door for option number 3? And option number 4. Okay, so gorgeous angels, I will reveal you shortly. Okay, but sit with this energy for a bit. And if you're called to any one of these, then you can select from the timestamp below. All right, and I will reveal these cards for those of us needing a little bit more guidance into your reading. Now, I won't be reading these reverse, so you can tell these are already sitting in reverse. So let's see. So option number 1, we have 4, and I don't know how to pronounce these words, but I'm going to do my best. It says Duat Shishmu 42. So I'll hold it up. And then for option number 2, we have Duat, a pep with the number 2. Apologize for my hideous nails. All right, for option number 3, we have Pet and Chem T with number 1. And option number 4, we have 5 with Tihuti. No, not Ra. I don't know. My goodness, those look like 2 A's. Can you tell me what that is? I have no idea. All right. Yeah, they are 2 A's. Tahitu. Anyway, just use your intuition, okay? The wording is irrelevant at this time. It's going to be the energy that I channel through. And take as long as you need. And then when you feel ready, even if you're drawn to multiple piles, just select from the timestamp below. And we will see what's behind that door. Beautiful angels, I'll see you guys at your pick. Beautiful pile number 1. You guys picked Duat Shishnu. All right, so I'm going to lay all the cards first before I begin to channel, okay, what this is all about. And I don't use these cards often because there's a lot of meaning and depth that comes with this, okay? Egyptian folklore, and I had to read briefly on this to see how it's going to play into your pile here. Okay, but I haven't looked at these cards, and I'm going to channel. And if we do need to read or look at the book for further guidance, we can refer to it, okay? And I do have the tarot, and as well as called to pull the dice. This deck does come with the dice or the die, okay? And so we'll do that as well. But let's lay out the cards and see what's behind the door that you're considering opening. Okay, this decision, or what would have been behind the door that you've left behind. Okay, so let's take a look. We have the now with 47. Okay, so that's number 11. And then we have the masculine with 36. So that's number 9. 4 is Emperor energy as well. So we do have strong masculine energy. A viral video star here. Okay, we'll take words literally, but what is he staring at? I don't know if there's anything on the screen. Okay, and then we have Justice, 16 and 7. Interesting, because this is about a judgment being made. Okay, so we have Justice. Number 7, so some Libra energy, some Aries. Yeah, and some Pisces I'm feeling as well. And then we also have Protect Your Heart with 47. Look at this, 4747, how synchronistic. You guys might be seeing 4747. Okay, but that's 1111. So you might be seeing 1111. 1111 is a highly spiritual number. Okay, it can even tie you back to union of a masculine and feminine energy. So I do attribute it to a twin flame journey, but this could be a union of our own masculine and feminine. Okay, the coming together of the masculine and the feminine, although there's a lot of masculine energy pulling through this one. Okay, Protect Your Heart. And then we have Indecision. And this is the Venus in Libra energy. So heavy Libra and Taurus as well, which is ruled by Venus. Okay, Venus is the planet of love. And so let me tap into this energy before we pull the tarot. But I do want to roll your die here. Okay, for pile 1, what's behind the door? What's behind this door? 4. That's so interesting. I was really fixated on the 4 because it was showing and I wanted to keep it out of sight. And I was like thinking it would for sure pull through with this reading here. In fact, we have 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 fours. Fours are all about structure, foundation, stability, planning. Like I said, it is Emperor energy, but it's also death. Okay, and death is the transformation and the release. So Scorpio energy now pulling through as well. Okay, let me tap into this energy. Okay, pile number 1. Remember what I said, this could be your energy, energy around you, situation, circumstance. Apply it accordingly. But the circumstance is pulling through here to give us context, and I'll get into the outcome of what's sort of behind the door so that this makes sense and you'll know whether it resonates for you or energy around you, people around you, or circumstance. Okay, so if you didn't sit through the card layout, we have Aries, Scorpio, Pisces, Libra, Taurus energy. Did I say Leo and Aries? I think I did too. Okay, that's also here. Okay, so the circumstance here would require you, obviously it's like what decision would you make, but it would be to be proactive. Okay, so this situation would require you to lean into the decisions and be accountable and claim something like not just sort of go with the flow. This would require you to claim something and to be accountable and responsible for your own decisions. So therefore, there does seem to be like a heaviness here with this decision, because it's like then there's no one else at fault, or if it doesn't go in a certain way, then I'm the one that's sort of left with the repercussion of however this would unfold. And so I do feel like the reason there is this, I was going to say stagnation, okay, with all these fours, which is sitting in our comfort zone, or we already have a structure, a foundation. and we're sitting here contemplating, or even in this crossroads of this indecision, because it's like, do I leave what is sort of already set up here, okay, to make a decision, claim this decision, and be accountable for this decision, and then spin the wheel of risk to see how this might pan out? Because there does seem to be some anxiety that you might not succeed here. And so we want to protect the disappointment. Okay. And so this energy is very strong. And this is about going in front of 42 ancestors. Okay. I don't think this, the 42 is so important, although that is 6, and 6 is lovers, and lovers is a destined path, choosing love and not fear. And so this is all about, do I choose the highest path here of my destiny, or do I stay small? And when we go in front of these ancestors to make that final judgment, it's actually just a projection of our own judgments. There is no outside sort of reality that's coming in, making decisions for us, that's actually holding the key or judging us or have any weight. It's all coming from the inside, meaning everything that I am attributing to success or failure is coming from me. So if I see something as not succeeding, it's because I'm the one ascribing that the lack of success onto a situation. And so your power here is very strong in recognizing where your energy is sitting, so that you can be the master of allowing yourself to manifest this thing with confidence. Okay. And behind this door, I feel, is success. I feel like the big fear and the hold up here is the doubt and the projection of how we see ourselves. So almost like imposter syndrome. Okay. So I do feel, though, there is some form of like divine guidance. This is giving me alarm clock. It looks like one of those table clocks, alarm clocks, because I'm getting like a wake-up call, a wake-up call from the universe. Also, like, yeah, like divine timing would mean what? Would mean everything karmically has to be in place and has to work its way through for the timing to be accurate. And so what Spirit is pulling through here is any projections, judgments that we're holding, whether it be about how we see ourselves or the situation, or how we think others are seeing us. It's all stemmed from the one place. And so this is the karmic stuff that Spirit is talking about, that is being understood or worked through. And the quicker we're able to sort of work through, the faster divine timing can roll out. Because again, there is no such thing as a time on a linear fashion. This is just when the time is right, when we're at the point where the karmic projections or the projections stop, where we understand karmically what it is that we're doing to ourselves by instilling fears or passing judgments. Okay. And so there's still this belief of self. And I think how we're putting it on others, how others would see me, or how this would unfold, that is completely being drummed up by your internal world, that is creating the resistance and the indecision to step into this thing, whatever this thing is. And so really the answer of how this would unfold or what the outcome is saying it's solely in your hands. Because when you overcome the karmic projections and understand that you can remove yourself from how your internal world is seeing a situation from that veil or that position, okay, then you can make different types of decisions. And so those decisions will have different outcomes. And so it's really in your hands. It's like you are the one that can hesitate, prolong, and cast judgment and instill fears and making any progress or decisions, or removing yourself from any situation that might feel like you're I don't know, with the 4, again, it's like a comfort zone energy because it provides some form of knowing stability, but it feels very stagnant. And so I feel like you're really being guided to work through these issues. So it's more about working through the karmic way that I handle my confidence, or the karmic ways that I see other people, or the karmic ways that have impacted me in the past, because I was used to seeing the world from this lens because of my past experiences, or just how I've always done it. And I've always done it in a certain way, and I always got a certain outcome, which capped me or kept me limited. And Spirit is saying, this is all to keep you on in the here and now, so that you can grow and you can live out your potential. But you can't live out this potential with this sort of a mindset, or at least without going through the different realizations that come with awakening. Okay. And so there's a lot here about, this is so deep, and I don't want to spend hours here, but what I'm getting is with the Scorpio and the death energy, it's like we need to know what has to be released in regards to our present moment, because there's a lot here about carrying a lot of old energy of how we used to think or be, or experiences of the past, and all of that stuff is not serving this present moment. And so when that weighs heavy, that's what's driving the decisions. That's what's saying yes, no, maybe I should wait, this won't work, or this is what's going to happen. And then we hesitate, we make bonehead decisions, or we freeze, or we just, I don't know. That's the thing, you know? So it's like, how do I release that? And Spirit is talking about knowing that we're the ones that are solely the ones carrying that the outside world, the situation itself, will not dictate the outcome. There's nothing that the outside world, or the situation, circumstance, or people can do to influence the outcome of this specific thing you're asking about, because this thing is destined for you, and it's wanting you to work out these karmic bugs, if you will, or karmic patterns, I should say, you know, hiccups, blocks. It's like, because of the fear, the doubt, the lack of self-confidence, I will make certain decisions that will keep me safe, that will keep me small, that will keep me limited, that will keep me making the same projections and judgments. And I can choose to do this, or I could get in the present moment, release anything of the past and past patterns, and watch this thing grow and grow and grow, and be available to make decisions confidently in this situation that will have huge impact. And I feel like what Spirit is talking about here with this viral video star, one, I'm getting the star energy, which is your dream. I feel like whoever came here has a dream, or like deep, deep, deep down in my soul, I really want this thing, you know? It's like a dream of mine. It's like something I've maybe always wanted as a child, or just fantasized about it. It would not be something that I ever thought I could have, or how I could get there or make it happen myself. It seems very distant. It seems like it's the perfect thing. It seems like maybe I'd have to be perfect to accept it, or claim it, or achieve it. And it's like, no, this thing, you're divinely being protected and guided to work with the universe, because the universe says they'll do the heavy lifting. So right people will align. Situations will be coming forward synchronistically. You will build momentum. And all of this is created by the divine. You don't have to go and create all of that different micromanaging of those different people and pockets of synchronistic events. And maybe that's your concern, because what Spirit is saying, your only real requirement here is releasing and observing the patterns and the decision making of what's driving those decisions today, because what those are is the thing that's getting in the way of the universe, because we have free will. And so the universe says, do you want to carry patterns? You want to carry this sort of an energy? It's up to you. If you want to, I will let you carry it as long as you like. Okay, but I can't force you out of it. I can't bring in different types of blessings or align certain synchronicities when you're not available or in that energy frequency. And so your energy frequency is saying, hey, take a look at your current energy frequency. Is it more aligned with beliefs and judgments of a past self failures, disappointments, lack of confidence, inability to do so, trying to protect oneself out of fear of rejection, fear of failure, and that's normal to feel a failure. But when it gets in the way of us actually claiming something or trying something, because the universe says we have to change the pattern and that mindset, and then things will be so natural for you. With this 1111, I feel like there is this beautiful coming together, a beautiful marriage, a beautiful commitment you can make here. Okay, when we remove the obstacles, and I feel like this will bring you better harmony and balance. Okay, so this is all about like understanding where the fear is getting in the way and then doing it anyway and working through the fear, because the fear will eventually, once it's understood and seen, it will fall away gradually. It won't hold us back. Okay, so one, we need the awareness why we're doing what we're doing. It might be dressed up or seen in a certain way. We might tell ourselves that we have to be in a certain place or why we're doing something. But if we are aware, we might say, I'm aware of the fear of rejection, or I'm aware of this thing. Now it's like, okay, we're aware of it, but where is it actually getting in the way of making a movement? Because we can have fear, but we could still lean into claiming and making movement. And so if it's getting in the way of making movement or decision, then this is the thing that's saying this fear has to get looked at deeper, released, sitting with that emotion and undoing that belief, because there's a belief in play here, okay, that is creating the same sorts of decision making and stagnation and same outcomes. If I believe that I'll fail and I'm hesitant and resistant, then I create more situations to fail, to be hesitant and resistant. Okay, so this isn't saying if you try this, it's going to fail. This is saying release the old and allow the new to unfold, because there's nothing in the new you're supposed to be doing right. There's nothing in the new that's going to reject you. There's nothing in the new that you need to protect yourself from, whatever this is for you, specific with the star here, okay? But it's all about the karmic release. And I think I'm repeating myself in different ways so that we understand exactly what this is about here, okay? But I am getting like the tower energy as well now, okay, which is the deconstruction of the number 4. And this might be very scary for us to deconstruct the 4, but we got to ask ourselves, is the comfort of staying put and small and indecision and hesitation and limitation, that pain in which I experience, is that going to be an option here for me? Or the pain, because either way we're facing pain of facing something we might fear and having a successful outcome. So the discomfort is always there, but it's like, what's on the other side? We can choose the different path. We can be in the here and now and do things differently, because Spirit wants you to have success. Okay, so let's pull the tarot and see what I'm missing. For pile number 1, behind this door, what is behind this door for pile 1? What is it that I'm missing? You might think you're having a lot of judgments of other people, family, friends. What will others think of me? This definitely could be a thing that we're carrying necessarily, It's like, I don't want to be judged, that we're the only ones making judgment. 4 swords. So that's a healing card, but that's a rest. That's getting centered in one's truth. The Tower, which I was sensing. Now this one's in reverse, to let it fall. Now this 4 of Swords, I love these cards, by the way. I got them yesterday. And I just love them. I'm probably going to use them all the time here. Okay, so yeah, there's this sort of truth is pointing down, because I think we're more fixated on what's untrue right now. And so we can't take action. There's indecision, there's lack of clarity, there's doubt, there's all the stuff I mentioned. We're sitting in that, and that's the thing we're sort of brewing and multiplying and cultivating. The indecision, the lack of clarity, like it'll sit there forever. We have to take the sort of truth and turn it upright. We have to do this, because it's never going to turn. It's never going to all of a sudden I see something on, just sort of at random, and then know when the time, like if we say, okay, it's divine timing, so then the time will come that I got to make the decision and act. And we could be sitting here forever, because the divine timing isn't an actual time. The divine timing says, It's supposed to happen when it happens, and the right time it's supposed to happen. And the right time, I hope you're getting this, the right time that this happens is when you decide. So it could be a lifetime. It could be 10 lifetimes when you decide to take this sort of truth and see clearly, turn it around to actually embrace truth. Then you can take action. That's the right divine timing. Until then, we sit here in the fog with uncertainty. Okay, but this is getting very clear with our thoughts and healing that 3 swords. That 3 swords, a lot of people see that as heartbreak. Okay, but this is protect your heart, because this is a disappointment. The experience that disappointed me, and I might want to prevent it. I want to prevent heartbreak. I want to prevent rejection. I want to prevent the loss. But yet we're sitting here with the untruth, thinking that we're preventing, but we're really creating the heartbreak and the loss by being in that energy. And so there's a need to allow the tower to fall, and the world it feels like it's safe here, because I'm not experiencing the new rejection, but I'm replaying the old rejection. So it's like either rejection with the old or the rejection with the new. However, the new isn't going to present any rejection. The new is in line with you. Everything's synchronistically lining up with your dream, but we got to undo this belief and let the number 4 fall. Okay, that stagnation and the sense of security that we do have is old here. And I'm seeing a yellow electric guitar here. Some of you guys might play guitar, but I think it's like symbolic of, it's symbolic of confidence with the solar plexus, and the guitar is the authentic self-expression. When we make a song, it's like unique. It's our expression. I feel like this thing, this star, this dream behind this door is for you. And it's a lack of self-confidence is really what it comes down to, because we're telling ourselves what other people might think or say, but it's our own story. It has nothing to do with our success or not, And we could never, ever, ever control what other people would say anyway. And so we might think, ooh, they think it's bad and they think it's good. Or we might think, ooh, they think it's good, and this is what I'd have to do. And they might be secretly thinking it's bad. So either which way, you're going to have lovers and haters. You're going to have people making their own decisions and their own projections, but their projections are about themselves. So why would it limit us to our own happiness, our own star? Okay, because I do feel there's like imposter syndrome. There's a lack of confidence expressing one's truth. And maybe we're more fearing the release of the old here for some reason. Okay, but the Tower's coming in reverse and the Emperor in reverse. So there's the divine masculine energy, that Aries energy we were feeling. And in the reverse would say, I'm lacking the confidence. I don't have the ability. I can't claim it. I can't go after it. I don't think I have the authority or the ability. So I'm lacking. Okay, this is a lack mindset, which is untrue. And so it keeps me small and it keeps me stuck and it keeps me contemplating what I'm missing out on. And so I'm never stepping into my power. I'm never stepping into my masculine energy of doing and claiming, and speaking up. Yeah. So let's see, what is your guidance then? I'm going to put these back, okay? But we have Aries here, because it's just sort of reaffirming my message, which is great. But let's see, spirits. Did I say Cancer? Because I'm feeling Cancer here as well, okay? And with this 7 chariot energy. Let's see, what? One fell. It fell like this. I'm going to put it back, but it's the High Priestess, okay? So the High Priestess is what? It's the unknown. It's the intuition. And so, like I said, we're definitely being guided, pulled, called by the intuition. And maybe the hesitation, like I say, is like, but what I don't see, I'm scared of. I don't know what the outcome would look like. And so I stay here with an outcome. I do know what it looks like. However, it's not a very good energy because it doesn't feel fulfilling. It feels like I'm sitting with the rejection. I'm sitting with disappointment. I'm sitting with indecision here for perpetually, So let's see, Spirit, what is the guidance? What is the guidance? Because like I said, the outcome itself is really dependent on you, okay? So what is the guidance? Guidance, pile number 1's guidance. I mean, it's definitely to step into the Emperor, but how would we do this? How do we develop this confidence? We'd have to undo a belief that others have more power, or that these projections are real, these judgments are real. these limitations are real. There is no limitation there unless you believe it. So what is the guidance? What is the guidance? Five of Cups. So this is disappointment, looking back at a spilt milk, like a disappointing situation that we missed out on of the past, okay, which we already know has created this mindset. The Five Cups created this mindset, but I'm too busy looking at what didn't work. The disappointment of the past, and that in the here and now, I'm being woken up by this alarm clock to take some form of emperor action, but I keep looking at the thing that didn't work. So one, are we finding ourselves ruminating about the Three Swords? And when we do, we have to be the ones, like I said, to grab the sword of truth, to be conscious. Here I am ruminating. Here I am in that mindset. Here I am looking back at the spilt milk. Here I am choosing to look at the downside. But there's two cups in the traditional tarot still standing. And the two cups is harmony. The two cups is union with the 1111, is two parts coming together harmoniously. And that still stands. But I am choosing to keep replaying the thing that hurt me. You know, it's a choice here. It's as plain as that. And so we got to catch ourselves. And that's why being in the now takes time. Because every time I catch myself in this, because our mind will keep going there. I'm like, oh, there I go again. And that, you know, and then we just get frustrated and give up. There I go again, looking at the disappointment. There I go again. It's like, no, don't judge it. Remember, there is no judging. There's just observing. Observe yourself and where your mind is wandering. And then say, whoa, I got to bring it back to the now. I got to bring it back to the now. I got to bring it back to the now. And you'll see after bringing it back to the now and catching yourself, congratulate every time you do that. That's a win. I'm in the present moment. I'm in the present moment. Soon as disappointment, it gets further and further away. And we get more free and more confidence to make decisions. But when we're really immersed in the thought of the loss, and we're ruminating so deep, we identify so deeply with that experience, it becomes who we are. And we can't remove ourselves or undo that thing. And so that's why that death energy is like, we must untangle ourselves from this loss. Because this loss is no reflection of you or your self-worth or what you're capable of doing at all. At all. It's an experience of the past. This present moment, this new situation, this beautiful dream is not predicated on whether something failed or succeeded in the past, or how someone judged you, or how someone disappointed you, or what you experienced there. Nothing to do with it at all. It's independent here, okay? So I think we need to untangle ourselves from this disappointing mindset that we sit in. All right, yeah. And it's like, because of this, I'm missing out on my dream. Because of this, I don't know how to align myself with the calling. Because of this thing of the past and my energy and where it's sitting, I'm becoming more hopeless in my ability to succeed. And then I'm going to watch my dream sort of pass me by. And Spirit is saying, your dream, whatever you want, is aligned in the stars for you. It always has been. It's waiting for you. Okay, you might be waiting on divine timing, saying, when is it going to happen? Or it will never happen. And Spirit is saying, you are going to make it happen by identifying when you're too enthralled in judgments of past, and then you're going to keep bringing it back to the now, because the star is about the future. Okay, and as we know, there's no past, there's no future, there's just in the now. And the in the now is what's going to create the success of that dream that you want. It's not going to happen in some faraway land, because you'll be forever chasing a dream that never happens. It's always in the future. I'm always chasing this thing. In the now, I'm going to be that in which the energy needs. And the energy needs you to be in the confidence about your own state of mind. Right now, I am at peace. Right now, I have nothing to fear. Right now, there is no disappointment. Right now is just the right here and now. There is no disappointments in the right here and now. And I have to acknowledge the right here and now. I can't keep going back to the past and saying that this is what's going on now. It's not. So the poison of the here and now, the poison of the past is getting in the here and now. It's leaking in by this mindset and this judgment that you're carrying. Okay. And so here and now, we're all safe. Here and now, there is just what's unfolding perfectly in God's universe. Here and now, there is no threat. Here and now, there's no disappointment. There's no judgment here and now. So we need to release, okay? Because I feel this is the thing that's going to align you with your happiness and your stars. So Aquarius energy, and then there's the Page of Cups in reverse. So this is really giving me allowing ourselves to love again, love again, open our heart, not carry the disappointment of being rejected, follow our childhood dream or vision. So I had a dream. It would require you to be innocent, believe in yourself, open up instead of resisting, refusing, rejecting, and blocking out because of, again, the projection here of what might go wrong and has gone wrong, So there's nothing wrong with healing from past situation, okay? But this is all about what you want to align yourself with, what you're saying is for you, and why you're saying it's not working out, or why you're saying you have an indecision or a block here. And it's all about this handling of the 5 cups and your Ace of Swords. Do you want to keep it in the reverse, or do you want to take this sword of truth and be in the present moment and see clearly what is actually true? Because what's true is just in this present moment. That's ultimate God's truth. Everything else is just your own speculation, your own projection, your own fear and doubt and all of that stuff. And that becomes real to you, but it's only real to you in your world. No one else is going to explore your inner world but you. So it's like you're navigating in that dream, It's like, whoa, there's a whole world out here. Are you going to come join us? Or are you going to stay there thinking that other people are involved? It's like we have dreams of other people. And then in the morning, I say, hey, I dreamt of you. Do you remember? And they're like, no, I wasn't there because that was your dream. Same idea. All of this experience, these projections, these judgments of other people, it's like it's real to us, like these other people are really involved or having these real thoughts in our own mind or in our own world, and we make it real. It's like, no, it's just your dream. There's another world out here in the present moments that is actually true, and it's in line with the great truth. And divine is wanting you to be in line with this thing because you're meant to experience whatever this is, but you have to be ready to receive it. You have to be ready to explore it. You have to be ready to know that it's going to work out for you, because it will. There's no reason why it won't. Spirit is saying you're divinely aligning with this thing. But the only reason you would not is because of this mindset and this judgment, okay? I hope this is making sense. I know I repeated myself a million times, and I don't care. If you don't like these long readings, then go elsewhere. I'm just tired of trying to accommodate. It's just going to be what I read here. Okay, beautiful angel, I hope this helped you. I love you very much, and I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Pile number 2, you guys pick Duat with a pep. So we'll get into this energy, okay? But let's lay your cards out first before I begin to channel. So I've pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at them, and we're asking about what's behind this door, okay? This decision that you're maybe contemplating making, or one you've left in the past. What would be behind this door? Okay, so let's take a look at what Spirit wants to pull through here. So we have the spark of hustle with 17. Okay, so some Aquarius energy pulling through, and some Leo. And we have your body with 43, or the number 7. She's holding this cat, the black cat. I'm getting some Scorpio energy too from the crow and the black cat. Okay, some Cancer as well from the number 7. And we have procrastination master. Some of you guys might have been pulled to pile number 1. Okay, if you were deciding between the two, then take this as a confirmation. There might be more there for you, okay, with this hourglass and this procrastination. And then we have slimy, number 2, another 2. So 2-2 is a master number. Peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. These frogs are all about cleansing and healing and releasing. Okay, and then we have, I just heard Madonna, and this is looking like a Madonna. Like, I mean, the singer Madonna. I don't know. If someone's listening to Madonna, likes Madonna, something about Madonna. And now I'm hearing Madonna song like a virgin here, born for the very first time. reborn here, which goes hand in hand with this whole snake theme. Dark night of the soul, Phoenix being reborn. Okay, in between worlds, 55. So 55, change is the only constant, divinely orchestrated change. Yes, the divine's certainly here, and we're seeing the bright here, and then the blue, which is giving me midnight sky. Going from one energy into the next, we're being reborn here. And fives are all about rebuilding, change, conflict. This is the heavily conflicted energy here. Okay, twos are all about balance and duality and choices. But I'm getting Kundalini energy, healing with the snake, and wisdom through this healing process of shedding the false self or the pain self or the egoic self with the sun. Okay, and then we have rebellion. So here we have Mars in Aquarius. So Aries and Scorpio, and then an 11 here, which is a 2. So I have 2, 2, 2, 3 twos. You might be seeing a lot of twos. Rebellion. Could be the ego rebelling against this death process or this release process, this cleansing process. And then we have fulfillment. Saturn and Sagittarius with the number 9. And here we see the bag of money, the ship, and then he's holding this sword up in the air, or this dagger. So let me sit here with this energy and tap into what is behind this door. You guys can skip ahead. Okay, pile number 2. This will become more clear as we pull the tarot here, because what I'm really feeling here, and I know this is like what's behind the door, I feel like there is more of a situation that you're having to go through before even aligning with any door at all whatsoever. So I don't feel like you have a specific question for this pile, other than this is the heaviest I think I've read in some time here, because this is like everything coming at you, everything in the kitchen sink, it's the dark night of the soul. It's the darkest before we awaken. And I feel like we are still in a heavy process here, okay, that we cannot escape, which sounds scary, okay, but there's nothing scary about it. It's divinely orchestrated. You are divinely protected. There's divine timing in play here. And I feel like the biggest challenge in this energy is you yourself, and what you tell yourself, or the pressure that you might be casting upon yourself. And this might sound something like, I should be doing more, or I need to do more to get out of this, or I can be doing more to get out of this, or why haven't I yet been able to release this, or all of that, on and on and on. This doesn't help. This is actually ego. Okay, people usually see ego as one that's like, the arrogance, the pride, but ego is also the victim story, and the victim that the ego likes to make us. Like if we identify with that ego, we believe we're the ones who have done the bad or had the failure. And so that means we're identified. So this is all about unidentifying with the ego and allowing the divine nature to do its course, because I feel like whatever is going on here is outside of your control. Ego doesn't like this, of course. And this is, the more we resist, the more we think we have control, the more we rebel against the process of this thing, the more stuck and difficult, the more things we have to release, because we're creating that environment of hostility, resistance. And so there's something about flowing with this process, because where it's leading you to is where fulfillment is. But right now we're really removed from pointing our nose in that direction. So you could be in a world right now where you're doing a lot of things that are misaligned. The wrong types of experiences are flowing in your world. Now I say wrong, nothing's ever wrong. It's meant divine experience, of course, but it's misaligned to your greatest fulfillment and your potential. So jobs feel misaligned. The thing I do day in, day out feels misaligned. The people feel misaligned. I feel misunderstood. Not the right types of relationships that support me in my growth. And this seems to be for this pile in all areas of your world. I don't feel this is just my job, or just one relationship that's not going well. This is like my marriage, my job, where I live, or how I'm living. It's really, 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 really like underneath all of this stuff, all of these identities. And so I feel like there's multiple identities, aka egos, that we're working through. And so we might identify as one sort of thing, and then we do the work to undo that and think, maybe now I'm free. Maybe now I'm more in control. Maybe now I can make this decision. And it's saying, whoa, this pressure to make the decision or to move ahead can only be done when the untangling of all the different egos that are getting in the way of the fulfillment of where you're supposed to be going. Okay, now this doesn't mean you got to get rid of every single ego you have in identity, because we have many, 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 many that keep popping up, the subtle egos. Okay, but there's certain ones, and there's more than one. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe major egos here that we're identifying getting in the way. And so when those 6 fall, we're still left maybe with some that we can work on and heal, but there's 6 ones here that are showing, okay? But it could just be symbolic, the 6. The 6 is about problem solving, harmony, compassion. 6 is lover's devil. And so, like I would say, the lover's devil dance is like the fear, that would be the ego, the devil, the chains, the beliefs that keep me in the pattern of stuckness and held backness, or the destined path, which would bring me fulfillment. It's aligned with love and truth. It's my mission. It's my calling. And so because we have the free will, the Spirit isn't just going to put us in a path of love when we're still battling the dance of the devil. But we aren't really doing anything with the dance of the devil. We're just allowing ourselves to enter the dance without resistance, fighting, changing, coercing, and stories, editorializing. It's that voice within us that wants to narrate what's happening. And then we identify as that voice. And it's like, no, just observe. Observe that voice. There's a thought. And since I'm not my thoughts, I'm the observer of my thoughts. I watch the thought come and I don't feed it, and I see it go. We don't have to force or resist thoughts to come. We don't have to do anything about changing. We just observe the thought, just like a cloud in the sky. Because right now, if we're so identified, we don't even realize that we're identifying with that thought. We become one with it. That's the ego. We have to create space from that in which the observer is watching that thought. And if we're identified, like I said, we don't even realize we're having that thought. But we could be dropping other egos and other thoughts, but we're still dancing and identified with one main thought that's preventing this flow. Because the universe says there's a great truth and a flow here. And what's on the other side of this sort of experience is fulfillment and abundance. And it's aligned with mission, and it's aligned with your truth. And it's going to give you a lot of clarity, a lot of certainty, and it's going to make you feel like you're empowered to make decisions. You're going to be clear of mind, okay? Not the egoic mind, but the clear mind of the self that is no longer attached to identity, in order to be confident to make decisions that are going to move you towards this mission or this fulfillment. And so if we were to move prematurely, still with the egos, still with certain things here, we would get on to try to get on someplace, and there would be too much resistance. There would be no clarity on how to navigate this thing. There would be decisions made that are actually preventing movement or detrimental to success. Okay, and so with your body, I'm getting a lot of 3D energy, and also we got devil. So I feel like an ego with this sun. Okay, and so we're in a process of awakening, and that Madonna was hearing, okay, throughout the card layout. I feel like you're going to see yourself for the first time through different eyes, not through the veil. And this might be startling. And the ego definitely is going to try to resist. Okay, so it's in the ego's nature to not want to meditate, to not want to unidentify, and to identify with the thoughts and stick to it. Because the minute you, which is really, there's no sense of you, your consciousness itself, the observer, sees that thought, once the observer makes space between that thought, the ego loses control and power, because the ego and that thought is not you. It has no control over you. And so when we are seeing this, it's like we're born for the first time. We make decisions for the first time, awakened, removed from that thought or that identity. And so I feel like you're working through some pretty heavy stuff here. Shame, guilt, fear, pride. It's really, really how you're seeing yourself that's being dispelled. And I feel like there is still resistance, and we could say, no, I'm doing the work, but the ego does the resistance, within us. So we can't control that ego. It's going to pop up. The only thing we could do is either feed it or see it for what it is. And when we don't see it for what it is, that's the resistance. We're allowing the ego to control. That's the resistance. We're allowing the ego to make decisions for us, but it doesn't need to if we're aware of it. If we create the space between the thoughts and that ego and that identity and not identify, then we're in control and we have the ability to make different decisions. Of course, the universe is always in control, but control enough to see the universe as it is, to make decisions in real time. So you're in between worlds right here. Okay. And I feel like we're still hanging on to, I'm going to roll this die, by the way. We're still hanging on to an old paradigm, and we might feel a sense of independence in this world. It gave me my independence, or it's making me who I think that I am, or it's giving me the ability or the control to make decisions. It's like, no, that's an illusion of being independent and in control, and it's actually hindering you. So even if you might feel a sense of empowerment with this thing, it's like, is it really an empowerment, or is it the ego masquerading with the solar plexus? Because that's most likely it. Because when we're humble enough to say, in the right here, right now, I don't know what the universe is going to unfold, and I'm not so attached to that success story or that identity version of me, so much so that I believe that I'm it. That's a big ego, And this doesn't mean, we're going to roll in a ball and say, oh, I'm totally lacking, I have nothing. No. It's about being completely in the middle ground of allowing what unfolds here, but being aware and being consciousness itself to know we're not identified with thought, and we can make decisions in the present moment. But when we're too cloudy, when we can't see that we're identifying, when we're too carrying the heaviness here, we're not reborn. And so you're in a massive process of shedding what doesn't work for you. And you're graduating from this 3D egoic way of seeing yourself to this more abundant self that results as a manifestation of your experiences once you're aware, once you're conscious, to make decisions and not resisting. Okay, so I hope this is making sense here. So let's see, I'm going to roll this and then I'm going to pull some tarot. So we have 5. So yeah, this is really, really, really challenging, but 5s, no matter how challenging they are, because that is all about struggle, conflict, loss. Okay, it's very difficult, heavy energy. Okay, it's also Hierophant, so it's like my belief system, what I value, maybe my religion, or the way I've been committing my lifestyle, and all of these beliefs that have been handed to me either through my family, my tradition, culture, society, whatever this is falling away, or it needs to be seen through. I can't identify. That's the pain The pain is when I believe in those things, or that I'm actually thinking I'm in control of these things in some capacity. I got to release. And that's when we rebuild. Okay. And 5 is also temperance. So that is the healing and the balance of the masculine, feminine coming together within yourself that is healed enough, balanced enough to make decisions. Like I said, it's not swinging attached to an identity. It has to be in the middle ground, like this temperance. Okay, so let's pull the tarot and see, what am I missing in regards to pile 2 and what's behind this door? What's behind this door for pile 2? What's behind the door for pile 2? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. So I feel like we're in a dualistic energy right now, okay, which is seeing things as good or bad, or seeing things as this or that. And that doesn't help us. That means we're identified with the ego, how we're seeing it. Okay, now duality does provide contrast, but when we identify, that's where the issue is. Thoughts are just thoughts, but when we identify with those thoughts, now they're challenging. So this is observing the ego in action. Okay, the devil in reverse, exactly. So it's the freedom from the ego, the liberation from the chains, seeing through what's actually not real. Capricorn energy, but we must see it for what it is. And I love these cards, which I just got. Love them, love them, love them so much. Like, look at this. It's like a family. It looks all great. And then actually what's really going on here is some form of a bondage. When we see beyond the veil, beyond the 3D, beyond the matrix, we see it for what it is. I feel like there is a situation that has maybe presented itself as safe in one way, or the ego is seeing it as a sense of identity. This is my hometown. This is my family. This gives me structure. This gives me security, or this is giving me or providing me with some form of love. But it could be codependent. It could be actually holding us back from something, or we could be so identified as that family member that anything else would pull me out of this identity and threaten, because the ego feels threatened when it's no longer identified. It's just like, whoa, then what? And then I'm at risk, or then I can have threats. So I want to stay in bondage. It's like, no, we can make clear decisions, whether we want to stay in that hometown, whether we want to stay with the family, whether we want to make other decisions, but at least we're aware, we're clear. Okay, because we start to heavily make decisions that are reinforcing those beliefs. So if I believe I'm following the left side of politics, all of my decisions are based on the left understanding, because I'm identified. But yet this present moment might require a decision that is able for me to see through that mind belief, because my authentic self would maybe choose differently or say or do something else. But I'm so enthralled in that system that I cannot see beyond that in which I was believing to be true. Okay, so there's freedom from this devil. There's being born again so that you're free to, like I said, fulfill yourself with truth. Queen of Pentacles. So there is this, again, really, really being dependent on the material world. And we could really think that the way the universe operates is true. That means we're so identified with that thought that the way we think the universe operates is true. We have to be humble enough to say, no, that's just been my experience. Because I do feel like there's a dependency here, maybe on how your family is set up, or who provides you with resource, maybe a home, maybe some money, maybe a job. It's the way that we're engaged in dancing with the universe. Our understanding of it still needs to be pulled back some. Okay, and we could really think that we've done shadow work, and there's still so much still under the surface here. Really, the real shadow work begins when we get to the base fundamentals, when we question our basics. And people don't like this so much because it feels uncomfortable to question. It's like, oh, I'm going to question my sanity, or I'm going to question my, again, that Hierophant energy that was pulling through. Yes, you are. Because what is true and real can never be threatened. The truth will not change based on projections. The truth will stand solid. So you can't threaten the truth. The truth is going to be the truth. The only thing you can threaten is the devil and the illusion and the ego, because it's illusion, it's false. And so it feels threatened. So it doesn't want to explore that. It doesn't want to question anything. It wants the belief and the assumptions it made. Now I feel safe. Now I feel like that foundation is set. I could breathe. It's like, no, that foundation is actually not a foundation at all. It's an identity with an illusion that's actually faulty. And when that faultiness is there, we can't build upon it. So there's right now, I'm reliant on my system, a resource, a false identity that's happening right now that I'm not seeing beyond, or maybe I'm starting to see beyond, but I feel chained to it. Okay, codependency here with this material world here. And then the Four of Cups in reverse. So this is all about us emotionally finding fulfillment when we can recognize how our emotions are sitting. And so if we are misaligned, our emotions never lie. And so your situation, circumstance, there's no painting it any which way. It's either emotionally fulfilling or it's not fulfilling. And the ego might want to convince us of otherwise, but the truest place, like I said, the truth cannot be threatened, and your feelings are going to reflect this. And so I feel like this need to wake up, this need to see beyond this illusion of the devil, of the ego, and of the identification and the bondage here in the matrix world. The need to see through this is going to be persistent, okay? Because we're misaligned, and Spirit really wants to bring you out of this misalignment, to align yourself with opening your heart, to align yourself with truth, to align yourself with what will be fulfilling for you, because the universe knows what is actually fulfilled with your authentic self, not the self that you created as a result of conditioning and programming and beliefs and identifications. No, it's unfulfilling, okay? Even if it at one point was fulfilling, it's no longer fulfilling. Okay, so if you stay wherever you're at here, Spirit is saying unfulfilling. Whatever. So maybe that was the door. It's like, what's going to happen here? Well, it's unfulfilling until it's not. It's unfulfilling until we release. It's unfulfilling until we observe our own identities. Okay, it's unfulfilling until the process is done. And this process, only the ego thinks it could speed the process or do something about the process. No, the process is the process, but we can get in the way of the process. We can resist the protest the process. We could resist the process. And we don't even realize we're resisting it, but how we're hanging on to it, how we're reinforcing an untrue belief. That's the resistance. Do not reinforce any belief. Just observe, because any belief is coming from some sort of foundation that may actually not be in line with truth, or at least your truth, the divine truth that's trying to pull you towards something fulfilling. You're not fulfilled here, no matter how many beliefs you have, or what you think is going to happen, or how you think it might go, or what you think you can do, or what you think you can release, or how you think you can realign. It's like, no. Those are beliefs that you have any power and you could do anything. So what is the guidance here? Guidance for pile 2. What is the guidance for pile 2, Spirit? Thank you so much for this reading. So lots of healing and lots of misalignment right now. It feels very misaligned, It's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good at all, but you'll get through the other side. This is going through it, okay? So we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. I don't see clearly and I don't understand, because we didn't learn the lesson yet. And so we could resist. We could be in the energy or of the mind of, again, when we think we know, when we are so convinced that we know, we're actually a reverse Queen of Swords. When we are identifying with a thought here that makes us feel like I need to know, it needs to be clear, I should know, then we're identified with another energy of ego, which is telling us that we're special in some way here, that we need certain answers or certain things to look a certain way. And so that's resistance. It's not, it's still hanging on to control. So I feel like the guidance here is be comfortable with not seeing right now, because it will become clear to you. The humbleness of saying, I don't need control and I don't need to editorialize whether this feels good or this feels bad, or it should be clear, it shouldn't be this hard, or it should. No, that's ego. That's identifying with the shoulds and shouldn'ts. Who are you to say what it should and it shouldn't? Nothing. It is what it is. And once we allow it to be what it is, then it becomes clear. Then it falls away. Then it's the lessons learned. I feel we're getting in the way of the lessons of the universe here with the shouldas and shouldn'ts, couldas and couldas. No, it makes it difficult. And it's still going to be unclear. The more you do the control thing, the more it sits unclear here. It doesn't become more clear because emotionally it's dissatisfying. It's identifying. Yeah, 5 swords. So it's misaligned. Okay. 4 of cups. Misalignment creates disharmony. Misalignment creates boredom. Misalignment creates despondency. Misalignment creates, I don't feel emotionally fulfilled here. People around me are all in it for themselves. And we might think it's all the people, but we're in the same energy, because the world around you is a reflection of what's going on within you. And I'll tell you one thing, if you're in devil, which means you're living in an illusion or still an ego, you're a 5 swords, no matter how nice you think you are, no matter how well-meaning you might think you are, because the ego will paint it as well-meaning. It's trying to do something, trying. Why does it need to try? That's egoic to think it could do anything against the universal flow of what's happening here. Humbleness, I know nothing. I can't do anything during this process. If you resonate with this, of course, I'm not disempowering anyone who feels I'm empowered and I'm doing something. This might not be your message. This is all about knowing we're going through a spiritual awakening. There's nothing you could do here. In this spiritual awakening, you're shedding the egoic matrix self, a lower state of consciousness where we need control. We need clarity in order to feel in control. And we have the illusion that we think that our decisions are the be all end all, and I make my own manifestations based on this. It's like, no, first we must shed what we're not, undo the beliefs of which we're not identify with any of that, and everything that's misaligned will fall away. The reason this is happening, in order for us to get aligned with what brings us happiness, true fulfillment, mission and purpose. Otherwise, it's the ends justify the means, and I will stay there for my need for clarity and control, and everything will be against me, and it's dog eat dog, and it's them versus me, and it's a dualistic separation consciousness. That's what we're working through. Okay. So it is difficult. It's very difficult, but it's not out there. There's no threat out there. There's nothing threatening. There's just what's happening. And so the peace lies in knowing that the truth is going to unfold and it cannot be threatened. There's nothing you can do or manipulate the truth of the greatest and highest good. There's nothing anyone can do. It's unwavering. The only thing that could be threatened is illusion and egos and false narratives. And so this is why it must fall away. Okay, and there's discomfort when we are identified. It's like, oh, falling away of the ego. It's falling away of the truth. No, it's falling away of the illusion. Because the truth cannot fall away. So trust it, lean into it. Don't resist it. Let it fall. Okay? I think this is it for you guys, pile number 2. I hope this helped you. And what's behind the door here, because I did say I was going to do the outcome, is fulfillment. And it's different for all of you guys, because I feel like you need to point yourself in that direction without all of this misguidance. But let's just see. What is the outcome? If pile number 2 works through this shedding of the ego and this identification process and breaks free and allows the universe to guide them towards fulfillment, where would they be guided towards? What would be the outcome here behind the door? The 4 of Wands in reverse. So we got to let go of this thing that we built. 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Magician and the Sun. Okay. Notice how reverse, 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 reverse. Okay, and I shuffled these and done a few readings now with these cards. The Magician is all about the 3D world and the manifestation here. As above, so below. My will, what I can do here in the 3D world. When we don't understand that the universe and everything is in relationship with itself, and that things will unfold as they do. And so my only conscious awareness is in how I respond and react in the moment will dictate my manifestations. And so Spirit is saying the delay of your beautiful fulfillment and manifestation is pending on your awakening, is pending on your clarity. You must come into the light in order to manifest greatness. Whatever you want, you will be the magician. And it's exactly as I said. What's the outcome for all of you guys? It's your own manifestation. That's the blessing. You can create what you want. If I want to create this type of a job, I create it. If I want to create this type of relationship, I create it. It's like the sky's the limit once you can manifest, because you become a conscious manifester. So that means everything. What's behind the door? Everything. Everything in alignment, everything you could possibly want, because you would choose it and you can make it happen. You have the freedom to make it happen. You have the know-how to make it happen, to work with the universe, of course, in conjunction with the universe, not as an independent vacuum, as a separate self working against the universe, thinking that we are manifesting with ego and control. No, I'm working with the universe now because I'm awakened. I'm conscious. I can make decisions. Now I'm manifesting. And right now it's all blocked. I'm giving to a situation, okay, a marriage, a job, a family, some form of an already established thing that must fall down, that I'm resisting because I'm not wanting to close this chapter just yet, because the ego, okay, not you, but your ego, is still wrapped up in this. It's still giving to this false story. It's still giving to this matrix story, and it can't accept anything new. As long as it keeps giving to the narrative, the ego, the false story, the thing of the past, trying to upkeep it, trying to do whatever, resist it, understand it, control it, manipulate it, do whatever it's doing here. It's in the dark. It's not allowing the flow. And Spirit says, knock, 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 child. I want to give you the flow. I want to give you clarity. I want to give you everything in abundance. Get ready to receive, but remove the energy thing that's here. The hanging on, the doubt, the need for control, or the thing that's still in its way. This thing must go for the new to come in, and you'll be happy you did it, because this is successful. Closure of the thing. You've learned the lesson. The karmic cycle has closed. You've now moved to the next level with that Queen of Swords. It's like the wisdom of the Queen of Swords. Now she has clarity. Now she understands. Now she can work with her mind when she needs to, but her mind isn't getting in the way here of what she's doing here, full of illusions and egos. Okay, so what's on the other side is beautiful manifestation, the ability to be a master manifester, to be in tune with the universe, to be awakened, to be conscious and present, to make decisions, to manifest whatever you want in that moment, because the universe will bless you with it. Okay, beautiful angel. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 3, you guys pick the Pet one and Kempty. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And so we'll lay all your cards before we start to channel, but this is like a tower energy, okay? It's like chaos, underworld. I was getting a lot of similar vibes from this card as I was from pile 2, so there could be a lot of overlap here, okay? Maybe you're drawn to it, we'll see, but the snake could symbolize healing and the shedding, okay? So I'm getting heavy Scorpio, tower energy. Okay, the frog. There were frogs coming up in pile 2 as well. So frogs can talk about healing and need to release. Okay, with the snakes, like we say, shedding of the old, releasing. Let's take a look, okay? And we're looking at what is behind the door. This door could be a major decision that you're contemplating here, okay? Or it could be a past door that we didn't open for whatever reason, but what would be behind this door? Let's take a look. So we have your light, 51 and 6. So I usually get Ace of Wands energy from this candle, but 6 is Gemini and Capricorn energy. So problem solving, compassion, harmony. 6 is community. It's about love, healing, and service. So we have some healing pulling through this. Okay, so your light, what is this? Your consciousness, your awareness, your passion maybe, your fire, your inspiration. Let's take a look. So it says stop, drop, and ground with 31 and 4. So usually we say stop, drop, and roll when we're on fire, but this is in ground. So when we need to get grounded, we could be ungrounded, meaning that we might have a lot of sort of 5D energy, or maybe our emotions could certainly need grounding, or our thoughts could need grounding, something here. Let's keep going. We have birth, and this is Venus in Cancer with birth in the number 4. So we have 2 4s. 44 is a master number. Okay, integrity is a foundation. Treating the earth as home and a temple, manifestation, and leadership. So 4s are Aries, Scorpio energy. We're feeling Scorpio from this. A birth is fertility. That's this Ace of Wands, you know, an inspired new beginning, like having an idea, or like obvious, an instant sort of flash of inspiration that might come to us. So Cancer's emotions, we were talking about maybe the emotions need to get grounded here. Sun is giving me divine masculine, Leo energy, and the moon is the feminine. So 4 could be 2 sides, the masculine and the feminine, needing to ground rather than maybe we're in too much energy. So right now we saw a lot of fire, which would be masculine. So are we swinging from masculine, feminine energy, and we're stabilizing something here? Okay, 1 is all about new beginnings. Birth is about new beginnings, potential opportunities. Ace of Wands is about new beginnings. Something about a new beginning here for sure. And look at this little seedling or sprout. Okay, some of you guys might like to garden here. That does come through my reading, but I'm feeling this loonie. Okay, a loonie is a Canadian dollar. And I don't know if you could see it, but it's not quite round. It has this sort of, I don't know if what's it called, an octagon? Yeah, octagon shape in this picture anyway. So I'm being drawn to the loonie, the loon. And something about needing to get grounded. Are we lost in our thoughts? Maybe we feel like we're going crazy somehow here. But yeah, so the gardening here, there's this sprouting of new life. Okay, let's keep going. We have the meditation with 19 and 20. Or 19 and 20, I'm sorry, 19 and 10. So 10 is all about completions, ends of cycles, transformation. 19 is sun energy. Sun is the clarity. It's masculine energy. Okay, but meditation is still, it's grounded. Yeah, look at the sun here. And all of the birds, fish, seahorse. And then this card we have meal prep mastermind. We have a lot of like aquatic, like salmon, penguin, dolphin, a fish. I don't know what kind of fish that is, and this sea turtle, and this stingray. It looks like a stingray, and this octopus, seahorse, and seal. These are all aquatic. Yeah, look at the water here. Emotions and fire, masculine, feminine. This is really what I'm getting. And that's probably why I was pulled to the loon, because the loon is glazing over the water. And now what's coming through is like the, Jesus walking on water. And that's like, could be seen as like mastering one's emotions, not to be pulled by one's emotions. Okay, which would be this meditation and this grounded energy. And even how this is all sort of prepared and organized in a way here where it's not all sort of jumbled up. It looks organized here in some sort of organization with the force, structured in some way here. Okay, interesting. Let's tap into this energy, okay, and see what pulls through with this channel. And then I want to roll your die, which I did for the other groups. For pile number 3, what's behind this door? 8. Okay, so 8's about movements, 8's about change, attainments, strength, and star energy. So we have Leo and some Aquarius energy with this 8. 8 is also about leadership, which is this 4, okay, because it's Aries energy. Leadership, it's about abundance and goals. So let me, sit here with this energy. Okay, pile number 3. I was going to say it is very similar to 2 in some way, but I think 2 would be your old energy at some point in time. It's far away from this energy. I feel like this energy here is definitely about to birth something new. Okay, and I know we're talking about behind the door, and so we might definitely get more clarity with the tarot. But as I channel this thing, I'm really getting a heaviness of, not a heavy energy, but a heavy clarity of emotions, which are very feminine, and the clarity of the fire, which is masculine energy, and the alchemization of the masculine and the feminine, and the mastery of emotions, and the ability to bring it in, to get grounded, to get organized, to be able to manifest and move forward, and be able to really like create something here in which we are now in a position to cultivate and birth it. Okay, so we're going to see what's behind this thing, but I do feel like because everyone wants something different, okay, what everyone wants is something unique to them, that whatever you're about to manifest is going to be very unique to you. But behind the door of this thing is saying, for all of you guys, regardless of where it's going to take you to your dream and your manifestation, it's this ability to really hone your energy, master your emotions, understand who you are, and be able to connect to that fire of life that's going to be presenting itself through the way of the universe, so that you can make decisions that inspire you, that invigorate you, but you don't get swept away, because there is this beautiful balance of knowing I don't need to identify with anything, nor do I need to swing on my emotions, give it away to intense situations, or feel emotionally overwhelmed, and make decisions based on that and run with that. There is this beautiful centered energy. So what you're going to create here, I feel, is very beautiful. It's very, you're consciously creating this thing. I think you might have already started. It's going to start to bud and sprout. It's going to take movement and momentum. Okay, I think this is something for you guys that I do feel is already in your life, but it could be something that's been slow. It could be something that inspired you, that ignited you, that has made you get on the path. Because I feel like the journey here is what's really being shown, is the journey of how you work with yourself and how you are able to work with this manifestation now that you've been able to understand yourself. Okay, like I feel there's really this freedom that comes in mastering one's own energy. It's like I'm no longer emotionally pulled or too enthralled and like hot-headed here. When we get so wrapped up in our passion, we move in a direction, which there's nothing wrong with passion, but misdirected passion, or passion towards things that aren't aligned for a highest good or a purpose, or sort of burn us out. And so I feel like there is different aspects of yourself that you've come to understand and accept and see, and which is always unfolding. But I feel like there's so many different facets of your emotions that are coming through here that maybe at one point we didn't realize. It's like I didn't know I had this within me or that within me, or could even feel this deeply or feel that. There's something about really being in tune with one's emotions, but not overly emotional where one's driven by those emotions. There's something about getting grounded, meditated in a meditative state so that we can make very conscious decisions in the present moment that aren't swayed on emotion. And I feel like this is what the abundance is going to be. It feels like the abundance or the manifestation is going to lay out in a way here that's all going to make sense. It's going to be presented in a way here that is fulfilling, nourishing, and in a way that you're wanting. It's not just sort of thrown at you. It's not just sort of, I don't know how else to word it here. It's very much conscious manifestation. And this has been brewing for some time. And I think maybe it was not the right time, or the birth never happened of this thing yet. And so behind this door is the birth. Behind the door is everything that was under the roots that you were cultivating, that you've been carrying, is coming to the surface now. And everything that was getting in the way, it has fallen away, is falling away. There's no longer an obstacle here. It has been released, it has been identified, it has been cleared. And so now we can focus on this baby. That's what it's saying. You can focus on your baby. You can get very clear about this and not be swayed. Okay, and so, and I feel like it really says your world isn't in control of you, you know, and of course the universe always has ultimate control when it comes to how the universe unfolds. But when we are unconscious, we are actually completely not in control. The fears are in control. The subconscious is in control. The patterns we're so identified with are in control without even realizing we're so identified. And this is saying your ability to be conscious allows you to stop, allows you to be present, allows you to make different decisions, course correct, release what you need to. And really, it's you navigating with this awareness that it's showing is going to result in what you manifest here. But there's so much like sea life coming through here, you know, even this like sushi and yeah, like seafood, sea animals. Frogs definitely go in the water, and snakes definitely also go in the water. These look like anacondas. Let's see, Spirit, what is it that's behind the door for pile number 3? Because I do feel like I'm not really understanding, but it does make sense what it's saying, but I don't know that I'm fully understanding what's on the other side of this door, Spirit. Can we drill into the energy for pile number 3? What's on the other side of this door? Clear and concise message for pile 3. Thank you so much. Okay, so 4 swords. So here's getting centered, grounded. Okay, the healing that has been taking place here in order for us to master our own thoughts. Okay, the 4 swords for me is like the stabilization of one's own thoughts so that one can make decisions based on clarity and truth, because one has healed whatever was running the show. The pain body, the 3 swords, was keeping the mind stuck or keeping the feelings going. And this is like, no, I can master my own thoughts and I can ground myself, become more centered here with this 4 swords. Okay, the Queen of Swords. Yeah, truth and clarity. So we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the King of Pentacles. So it's giving off the same energy, pile number 3. It's like, and now that you put down the baggage, whatever this was, subconscious beliefs, fears, identifications, egos, pain stories, experiences of the past, whatever this was, I feel you've been trying to cultivate something that wasn't clear. It didn't make itself visible because you were learning lessons, you were healing, you were becoming clear, you were cultivating greater truths, you were learning wisdom of the heart, wisdom of emotional mastery over self. And I feel like why is because the universe says this was all guiding you to abundance with this King of Pentacles. So you could be manifesting yourself in a position here that's going to really be successful in the 3D world. Okay, this is like through time we build an empire. Through time we are able to build all the things here in the 3D world that we would consider successful. Okay, the King of Pentacles is a very grounded, stable, successful, consistent energy. And you're bringing in consistency, groundedness, stability, security, abundance in the 3D world, because now you're clear. Now you work through the veil. You could see clearly. You have wisdom of the heart, wisdom of emotions. You can channel your fire towards business opportunities or relationships that are actually for you, that can actually build to something, build to commitment, build to greater empires, build to something rather than just sort of build to nothing or keep you on an endless cycle here. Okay, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. So let's see, what is your guidance? So before, in front of this door, or behind this door, I should say, is success, long-term success built over time, steady, solid, organized, consistent. Okay, that you have a lot of fire for. So this could be your dream business, your dream family, like I said, your dream security position within a company or within your own company, or something you're building here, something you're cultivating. You'll know, because I do feel you've already been cultivating this thing, this King of Pentacle energy. Okay, so let's see. Spirits, what is the guidance for pile number, I'm going to say pile 8. Pile number 3, what is the guidance? What is the guidance here for pile number 3? I'm getting heavy Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, just from all of this water energy. Okay, and fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So we got lots of signs coming through. What is the guidance? The mob in reverse. These two are coming together. I do feel there's one more. So the mob is a special card in this deck. Okay, and it's pretty much where we get really fired up to go with the flow, and we get washed up with what everyone else is selling us. Card went flying, and it fell like this. Five of Swords. Okay, so we're looking at guidance and advice. So this mob is all about when we realize we got to break away from what we've been swept up in. You know, so if we're swept up with like the hype of it, the hype of society, the hype of what I got to be or what I got to do, it's like we're living someone else's dream. Maybe what someone else wanted us to be for a career or for a path or a pursuit. It's like we're one of them. And it's like, and then we realize it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Is this for my highest good? Am I being conscious? Am I actually making decisions here that are aligned for me, even if it goes against the grain here? Okay, and so this is the advice, Two of Pentacles. So this is being able to find balance. Like we said, there was the masculine, the feminine, there was getting our emotions and everything regulated here in a balanced way, not being pulled on a pendulum, but we have a grenade here. And so that was the destruction. The destruction is when we get pulled into the mob, into the subconscious, into acting without being conscious, reacting, responding in a way here that's more reactionary rather than conscious and understanding one's own position here, getting balanced, getting grounded. So we can make decisions. Yeah, Four of Pentacles, and then we have the Five of Swords. So I'm going to pull a card for the Five of Swords here, but the guidance is really talking about this. The minute we're able to pull away from situations that either are holding us back, okay, because there's people, situations, circumstances in this universe that are always going to be challenging. There will always be people projecting, people wanting to win, people in ego, people projecting their own insecurities, always. Okay, it doesn't matter. These people will exist. And when we are conscious enough to be regulated enough to see beyond other people's sabotage and not get swept away and become one of them, you know? Now I'm hearing I don't know, was this from The Simpsons? One of them, one of them, one of them. It's like I could just get brainwashed and become one of them under the ego's influence, reacting, responding, creating arguments, grenades. bombing stuff up and be in this turbulency of the ego, the turbulency of ups and downs. Now I'm angry. Now I'm not. Now I'm happy. Now I'm like at the top of my game and at the bottom. This is like being at the peaks and the valleys of the ego and wherever it drives us. Okay, we could get stuck here. And I'm seeing the devilly red energy. We could really get stuck here. And so the guidance here is to know when we are too held back or too clingy or too going with the mob that is holding us back, creating this. And we'll know by the way we're seeing the responses, the way we're seeing the people around us. Are people around us seeming like threats? Are they seeming like they're going to threaten me, or they're creating conflict within my emotional body or something like this? Because if that's true, then that means I'm either holding on to an old mindset, and I got to remember to get balanced again, allow myself to see beyond what's already learned, because I think you've already learned something here. But we still got to be conscious. We still got to be proactive. We still got to know when we're in this energy, so that the indicator here is how are people sort of showing up around us? Because I do feel like we'll forever be experiencing challenges, but it's how we engage and what we choose to do. We can either explode it with our temper, with our emotions, with our fiery sort of triggers, or we could, diffuse situations here. So we could do this. So the magician again, the power is within your hands. Do I want to diffuse? How do I want to manifest? And so I feel like this is a continuation of pile 2. 2, early stage. Pile 3, what's behind the door? You're a master manifester. You've been able to master your emotions and really make conscious decisions and know in the present moment when you're getting pulled by others or egos or situations, circumstances that might result in all sorts of things you've already experienced. You don't need this. And Spirit's saying, be present, be the magician here. Identify that other people cannot control you based on their own victim stories or egos or mindsets, because that will always be around. And you will never be swayed by what's around you like that. You will always be in the position to work with the universe consciously, to make decisions, to manifest your happiness. And this is what's going to build this beautiful King of Pentacle energy. Okay, but not keep you stuck in ego consciousness or keep you stuck to people who are like, sabotaging, or who are like keeping you, I don't know, an ego or one of them. You don't need to be one of them. You're not one of them. In fact, you're a conscious being here who's going to make decisions that pull you out of this sort of energy. Okay, that's your guidance. Pile number 3. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 4. You guys picked with Tahuti. All right, so we'll get into the energy of your reading here. Once I lay all the cards, we'll do the channeling, and we're looking at what is behind this door. Okay, so behind this decision, either it's a decision you did not make in the past, or what would have been behind this door, or what is behind this door of whatever it is that you're contemplating here. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards. And if you want to go straight away to the channel message, I will put a link below. This card here is, I'm still learning about this deck, but it's a mixture of, if you want to connect it or relate it to the tarot, it's moon energy. Okay, so high priestess for sure, occult, but it's wisdom through writing and mind. So there's a lot of magician, Mercury energy as well. Okay, so it's like the moon meets magician to manifest. It's a very positive card here when it comes to like spiritual graduation and growth of consciousness. Okay, because it's like seeing behind the veil, but being able to manifest here in the 3D world. So it's pretty intense. But let's take a look. What does this all mean then behind this door? So we have one step ahead is all you need, which is 41 and 5. So now we have 2 5s. 5 is a master number. Change is the only constant. Divinely orchestrated change. And this is giving me the fast forward on a tape recorder or something. One step ahead is all you need. Okay, and then we have 31 and 4 with relationships. All right. So she looks like she's riding on an octopus here. Interesting. Octopus could be connect back to Mercury energy of thought and mind. Something about expression as well with the Mercury. Okay, like being successful through words. There's also a sort of a counseling type energy that comes through with this card. So relationships would definitely tie back to this counseling, working with other. And look at the two girls here. One has eyes closed, one has eyes open. It's like I was saying with this. Totally. The closed eyes is that moon, hidden, occult, seeing the unknown. Okay, but then the eyes open is like here in the 3D, like manifesting what we can see in the senses and finding this balance between these worlds. Yeah, this is like the in-between two worlds. Okay, this is fascinating. Serial killer. Cute. This is the modern oracle. So I'm getting something here about, well, cereal. We could see it as like, food people eat, like abundance. But I'm getting this like truth. The truth is what can work through for finding what actual true abundance is. Because the killer is like putting an end to anything that's untrue. So I feel like there was this removal of veil, removal of what's untrue, releasing of, I don't know, like putting an end to anything here that isn't abundant. But I feel like it's for others. With the serial killer, it's like with the collective. I'm getting a lot of collective energy here. This could be a reading for the collective. This could be you working with the collective here. It's like many people in the collective having spiritual awakenings, where the false self dies. It's like killing off these people who don't need to stay asleep. You might be waking people up here in your, whatever this is, green. Look at waking people up. Green is life. And this is also tying me back to this 3D world, right? Like plant life. This abundance I was getting through with cereal. So 78 is the number 15, which is devil energy. Capricorn. Are you liberating people by helping them to wake up? The collective is waking up. There's something about healing by way of doing and knowing. All right, inheritance. Yeah, because this is also like what is bestowed upon us. Saturn in Scorpio with the number 8. So it's like what's been bestowed upon us by our inheritance, like our ancestors, we inherit like stuff in the physical, but also inherit their genetics. We inherit their misfortunes. We inherit their beliefs. We inherit their earth that's been like suffering here with this Saturn over a long period of time. And now we inherited this collectively. This feels like a collective reading is what this feels like here. So maybe what's behind the door of the collective does the future hold here? But you do seem to be a part of this whole thing. And so you might be a very integral part of this awakening, of this new earth, of this like pushing forward or being like a guide here in guiding the collective, navigating through this maze and this destruction that's been gifted to us from our ancestors. How do we heal this earth? So you can have some environmental causes that you stand up for. And then a resourcefulness with the sun in Cancer and the number 4. So maybe literally something with the resources, in nature. And you certainly become this resource of abundance, of guidance, of information and knowledge. Or you can maybe provide this as some form of stability or some form of container for the collective. Okay, fascinating. I'm going to roll this die and then I'm going to start to channel, okay? And then we'll use the tarot to get clear what this means. So Spirit for pile 4, what's behind this door? An 8. Okay, 8's a very auspicious number, but this is about movement, change, attainment. It's the strength card in the tarot. So it's the courage to face what we need to face or fears. Okay, 8 is also the number for the ego. And it's also star energy, which is healing, destiny. So Leo and Aquarius. Okay, so let me sit here with this energy. Okay, pile number 4, if you didn't sit through the card layout, I'm just going to get some of the signs. We have Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Virgo. And I think I said Scorpio, right? And Cancer and Leo, if I didn't say that, which I think I did. Okay, this, you can apply it, okay, how you apply it to your own sort of energy, because of what I'm getting here, for some of you guys, this is like a whole collective sort of reading. Okay, this is like what the future holds behind the store of the collective here. But I feel for the bulk of you guys who've been intuitively called to this pile, it's like your role in this collective dance. Okay, your integral asset to the unfolding of this new earth, this higher state of consciousness. There's something about you providing your service to the collective, okay, with this relationships. So this is all about how we engage with one another here on earth, what we were inherited with from our ancestors. We were given this earth, however state that it is in, war, famine, technology advancements, whatever is going on here, we've inherited this earth. Okay, and I feel like we are all capable of doing what we can do to bring the greatest vibration here on earth, however we are called to do. There's something about with the star energy here with this number 8 about healing the earth, healing humanity, healing the collective through way of words and voice and your thought and your presence, and taking proactive action in that in which you believe or that in which you understand. There's hidden knowledge, okay? Hidden knowledge. And it is coming through to you, and you're this vessel that maybe can conceptualize hidden knowledge better, or who can bridge the gap or utilize this. This came in one of my readings through channeling. Okay, whether you were a tarot reader or you're a, you go on the meridians and do grid work, or you bridge healers together, or there's this bridging energy. Okay, but mostly it's like I'm able to tap into divine source, the one state of consciousness, the greater truth, and manifest here on earth. And so you are a guide, okay, in your own right, in whatever field you're doing here. And if you haven't specialized in this, you will be someone who is functioning in that realm, that specialty, that niche that is very specific to you. And it's going to have a ripple effect, because I feel like even if you can't touch all the collective, it's like you opening doors for certain individuals will open other doors for more and more. And it's like this popcorn effect that happens as people start to awaken to whatever this is. I think some of you guys, it is really down to the earth, like activists based on the environment. But it could be like the spiritual health of this environment, or the physical health of the environment, or like fighting big pharma, or natural health, or putting others in touch with their divine nature so they could find their purpose, or healing through counseling of relationships, how to love one another through all this green heart chakra. It's like open up your heart, love brother as self, and treat the earth as home in a way here that allows there to be nourishment and fulfillment and healing on earth through example. And so this is a very beautiful energy, and this could be bringing awareness to subjects that people are asleep to, like what's harming the earth, what might be keeping them unconscious, what might be dragging us down as a collective here, or what they individually might not be seeing about their own empowerment to stand up or to be a great version of themselves. I feel like this serial killer to me is you putting an end to what could be the demise, of the collective in one way or another, whatever that looks like. So you could be creating a lot of spiritual awakenings where people are like having to die unto themselves. Okay, obviously this is a metaphor, putting aside their ego or their beliefs, or putting aside, their identification with their politics or their structures or their hierarchy in some way. It's like I'm seeing now the destroyer from the Kim Kranz archetype, which is like systems that are redundant, that needs to be torn down, that are creating stagnation or creating devastation or like not useful for evolution. These are the things that you're questioning or bringing to light or working with so that we can ascend as the collective, as humans here on earth. Okay, so you're a waymaker. I think you're creating waves, changes, and it's like changing how we see as a collective. And so with this comes great power, because we're not always going to be understood or liked. In fact, there is lots on the other side here of like resistance. There could be structures in place that profit from these systems. But it's like the more awareness we have here on earth, the more we can feel empowered to do. And I feel like your energy is allowing that empowerment for us to know what we are capable of doing as humans here on earth, that is helping, not hindering, that is allowing us to flourish and leading to great health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, and release ourselves from the bondage of systems, structures, big pharma, institutions that are benefiting from the devastation of what's happening to families, the earth, humans, their emotional well-being, their physical and mental well-being here. And it's like holding us all accountable in a way here, but you don't single-handedly like create blame here. It's just like what's within our power. How can we hold accountability different here? How can we see beyond what's actually happening here so that we can flourish? This feels very beautiful. And I am so thrilled that you guys are a part of this collective, that this came through my reading. I'm so honored to do your reading and to be a part of this journey with you here, because I do feel like this is everything that is hidden, that we tuck away, that we're challenged by, and even if it's been created by our ancestors, slavery and oppression and devastation and war and all of that stuff, it's like we're able to take what we have and say, how can we manifest differently? How can we work in a way that's healing and not combating a left versus right or them versus me, or hold angers or a hopelessness or some form of a heavy energy that's like not allowing there to be change This is like, be the change you wish to see at the end of the day, bringing the darkness that one might easily turn away from into light, because we must see the devastation. We must acknowledge all of these things that are going on in this earth and not turn a blind eye or not add to it by adding more conflict, resistance, or war. No, that's not how we're going to heal anything here. But we must see it for what it is, what we're dealing with. And I feel like you're shedding a light, in areas of the collective here on earth, certain niches of injustice that needs to be seen for what it is, for the darkness that's there. Okay, now I say darkness doesn't mean there's bad people, ignorant people who are absent of God and love, people who want to profit, who are driven by greed, systems, structures. And so this greed is driving their actions. It's like, how do we move beyond this? Okay. And it does feel like a heavy sort of counseling, healing, guiding through. Again, it could be through what you write, or just you're bridging that information from what people can't easily see from the divine here on earth to manifest. It could be through song, through writing, through, I don't know, TED Talks, through just counseling through your words, some form of service here that you provide. But it's definitely the divine that's being channeled through you. Okay, and you're this vessel, this channel, you're this abundant resource to the collective here. So let's see, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good in regards to what is behind this door for pile number 4. What did I miss for pile 4? What is behind this door? The 5 of Pentacles. So look at the collective here, because there's a whole bunch of people here in this 5 Pentacle, marching, subconsciously following orders, doing what we've always done, walking in line here, not questioning. Why are we doing what society is sort of doing? Is it helping? Is it creating more devastation and more lack here with this 5 Pentacles, more poverty? Whatever this poverty is, whether it be money-wise or spiritually poor or, emotionally poor. Like I say, there's something about we're creating our own devastation here when we just march along and ignore. Ignore. So let's see. What are we missing here? The 2 of Wands in reverse. So when we don't see the forest for the trees, when we march along with orders here, we shut down doors and opportunity and new ways, because the new way is the new earth. The new way is really allowing things to change, highlighting that there is another path, there's another way to live. And most people think this is how it is, this is how it must go, so I must just toe the line. There is no breaking out of the matrix or the system, and therefore there is no other wand. Just sort of do this thing. No, that's asleep. There is another wand, but we must see it. We must choose it. We must be different here, even if it means we're not liked. To break out of this devastating state of the earth here. Okay, Queen of Cups, beautiful, compassion. So from the heart space, this is also a counselor, okay? A counselor who's acting out of love from the heart space. I feel like you're a guide, okay, from the heart. You truly care. You're an empath, or you're just truly wanting humanity to come in love because of your love for other. And it's beautiful. It's felt. And it's like, how do I take my love for other and create change on earth? It must come from the heart. It can't come from ego or profiting or any of this. Now, does this mean because I'm a counselor or because I'm following my heart, I must be poor? No, this means, how do I manifest success here by not falling into systems and structures that are adding to the devastation? I got to create my own way, but it has to be in line with pure love here. It can't go against my soul, against what I know is right. And doing what we see happening socially might not necessarily be soul food for us, It's killing us softly by feeding into another paradigm. So I feel this is your beautiful energy here, okay? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, but also, like I said, if this is like the collective message here, it's like we will be guided by those who are in their heart space. We will be guided by those who are soulful enough to see beyond this. We will be guided, and only then can we see the wand in front of us, the path less traveled, by choosing it. But we must connect to our heart space. We must connect to love of one another. Okay, planet Earth, we must connect to this. If we don't, we just follow. It's like I'm getting the Pied Piper or whatever, like following the Pied Piper, the rats, just sort of following blindly. And then it leads to devastation and destruction here. Okay, so I want to see if there's guidance here for you. Pile number 4, this is beautiful energy. Maybe I should be asking you for guidance. Look at this maze here. So maybe we've had to navigate the maze that is this earth. How do I get this off the ground, or the practical side of this healing business, or I don't know. I think it's just how you live. You embody this Queen of Cups energy, and it could be through your art with that Queen of Cups. So you sing, you write, you dance, whatever you do allows people to tap into their own heart space. So what is the guidance? What is the guidance for pile 4? 3 of Pentacles. That's allowing yourself to work with others. Okay, but that's also my counseling card. Working with others, creating something we couldn't on our own. So heavy collective energy. Okay, it's you and other working together to build something solid. Otherwise, we just stay in the shambles here of what has been inherited to us. We build the structure. We build with love. We build this beautiful, solid structure amongst all of us. Okay, doesn't mean we have to build institutions so much as it is we build trust. We build with something that can stand the test of time rather than be our own demise here. Page of Swords. So this is about being a novice, starting to see and understand, questioning everything, or curiosity to question systems. Question, is this sustainable? Is this going to lead to destruction? Is this something that we could build with that's solid? And be constantly questioning that rather than just, again, acting sort of blind here. Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, questioning, are we in our heart space? Is this for the highest good of all? Is this out of love, or is this out of ego? Is this out of pride? Is this out of money making? Is this out of a need to create identity? Or is this truly out of my heart? Like from my heart space and my caring compassion. And that is the great truth that's going to lead you to successfully overcoming whatever this is, or building something solid. 8 of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse. So the guidance here is this. If we don't understand and we're not curious with what the truth is, then all we're doing is creating broken structures that keep us stuck and stagnant, that don't allow us to move towards breakthroughs. 2 of Wands, new paths, less traveled. This is communication. So new communication, new way of thinking, new way of driving will break us out of this paradigm and allow us to move forward to what's abundant, fruitful. Okay, but it has to be in line with that of the heart. Love. Okay, like it must feel good to the universe, and it must feel good to our soul. It must feel good. This is a blessing that the universe comes in. The Ace of Cups is like the cloud of the universe. Here is a cloud of the water. So it's like the cloud. And this card is the emotions. And so from the love, from the deepest place of soul and spirit, and showing that compassion and showing up with this is the movement and the breakthrough we need to see through your words, through your display. Okay. And so the guidance is, are we curious enough to know what the truth is? Are we curious enough to navigate our heart? Are we brave enough to open our heart? Do we have the courage and the strength enough to open up our heart and the truth and not fear? Maybe being, like seen as a cuckoo or something like this, or seen as someone who's going against society or the grain. Yes, we must, because the truth is what's going to be sustainable here on earth and is going to create solid, stable, grounded places for humanity. Not this sort of an energy that's not abundant at all. It's not sustainable at all. It's not loving at all. It's robbing from our soul. All right. I think if you resonate with this reading, pile number 4, you'll know exactly what it is that I'm talking about here. And so behind this door is you being the pinnacle of all that is divine love, being one with the Creator, and bringing love here on earth. And that is the highest vibration of what you can do. The highest service that you can do is bring love and truth and the divine Creator here to manifest and allow others to find this as well. Their bravery to walk against maybe what they're expected to be or do. All right, so beautiful pile 4, this is your reading, and I hope this helped you, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and I will see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye.